name is Jeremy Dean McNeese. They call me JJ. I got that nickname when I was in basic training, Army.
Hey JJ, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm great, I'm great. Another beautiful day out here in Santa Monica, right?
That's right.
I know that you're from the East Coast. Can you further explain that by telling me where you were born and raised at?
Well, I was born in Bayside, Queens, New York. I was raised in the bottoms of Brooklyn and Catskills.
JJ, how was it growing up in the early 90s as a teenager in Brooklyn?
Well, at the time, it was pretty rough. Being poor and going from foster home to foster home, it was pretty rough to be on the streets, especially when you're one of the only white boys growing up with all the blacks. And being on the streets, it was really hard to focus on education. So I had to quit school around on the 6th grade. And so at the time I got a tattoo of my hometown. That's New York.
You told me that you served in the military for quite amount of years. When did you join the Army?
Well, at the time, I was getting in a lot of trouble, and I had an uncle that was in the Hells Angels, and he figured that I was either going to end up dead or in prison for the rest of my life. So at the age of 18, I was still in Brooklyn at the time. I joined the Army, and I had my MOS as far as I was going to be a technician, do infrared beams. Well, then that all went away when I was deployed to Baghdad and Terrence City, right outside of Afghans. There.
What year were you doing checkpoints in?
That was in probably 2000.
2000.
99 is when I joined and I did 6 months of basic training. That's how I got my nickname, actually. And we all had nicknames at the time.
All right.
Wasn't allowed to say him out loud though.
I get you.
Our drill leader, man, he would have drilled us to the ground.
Was joining the Army worth it?
Well, at the time, I thought it would be a lot better than being on the streets. But once I found out otherwise, and after I got deployed to Baghdad and Terrence City to do checkpoints, I seen myself in a way dangerous situation than I was even on the streets of Brooklyn.
One thing that I have learned and I keep reading about is veterans who suffer from PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Do you suffer from it?
Yeah, man, I was diagnosed with it maybe at the second term of my military career, which really took a toll on my life. I didn't know how to handle it. So, but the only thing I knew is at that time I had to stay alive. And having an M14 in my hand, I knew I'd stay alive long enough to.
How do you survive living in the streets of Santa Monica and Venice Beach?
Well, I gotta say, I developed a lot of good. I met a lot of good people here, and that I gotta thank God for some of the people here in Venice, California, and Santa Monica that I do a lot of work for, and right here is what keeps me afloat. I detail the cars, I do a good job, and they do look out for me a lot. And I got some clientele that just, they don't feel sorry for me.
All right, JJ, we all have wishes and goals that we want to reach regardless of our situation. What is one goal that you are currently trying to reach?
Well, here's what I'm I would love to reach, which I'm very focused on doing. One of these days I want to get a really nice RV, but then at the same time with my RV, I would love to go and go to Costa Rica and from there go to the Bahamas and live in a town that I know is called the Rockies. And it's a very beautiful town. When I was in the army, I visited that particular island. Actually, it's not a town; it's an island.
What is it called again?
The Rockies.
The Rockies. How would you get the RV there?
Well, I was going to get there by ship.
Nice.
So by ship, I can get my RV there.
All right, JJ. Thank you so much for sitting down and talking to me, and I've gotten to know you way more better, and I'm thankful and I respect that you served our country.
Jeremy Dean McNeese, 182nd Unit, Army Infantry. Ow.